There are only 3 things I love more than food. Sexy Skyrim graphic mods, killing Nazim in painful ways, and getting up in the middle of the night realizing you still have a few hours to sleep. You know you can all relate to this one. But for today, we will focus on the biggest feasts, the most delicious desserts, and the most beautiful dead animals that this 10-year-old game has to offer. Welcome back to Skyrim, you hungry gamers. Are you hungry right now? Cause it's time to get your snacks, so I'm waiting. Alright, time's up. We have a lot to cover today. Since cooking in the Elder Scrolls universe is vast, it needs to be explored from the ground up. And with mods, that's gonna make you want to regret ever thinking about clicking on this video. You signed the contract you cannot get out of. You'll regret it, it's gonna make you hungry, and I don't know what's gonna happen. You're gonna have to go get more snacks, I guess. What do you mean, I'm not selling this video well and people are gonna click away? Well, that's kind of like their problem, because they're gonna miss this. Before going into the mods, we will take a look at vanilla Skyrim. For a game from 2011, there are a lot of recipes to choose from, and the food, in my opinion, is very detailed. But it could use some more additional polygons. This game doesn't focus on the small details such as food, it's mostly about the dragon fights, committing crime, and fast traveling. But today, all of that will change. Let's improve on how the vanilla food looks first of all. Using a combination of high quality food and ingredients and realistic HD food remastered, you can start working on your presentation. Every chef says that the eye tastes first, so we gotta start making our food look stunning. Adding on top of that, rusting cooking and Skyrim 3D cooking. These mods will make the pots, cooking stations, ovens, pans, and kettles and such look so real. It makes you wanna cook an egg in them. Yeah, that's what I said. On a semi-related note, don't you think that some foods are way too big in the game? Some stuff like apples and tomatoes especially. Now, download this mod if you really want, cause it kind of messes up your bowls, but in VR Skyrim, it actually makes them more immersive, cause you can actually grab the things and see them in your hand. Look at the author's video for reference, since I can't really film that myself. I don't have Skyrim for VR, but if you do, go right ahead. This is so much more realistic. Let me show you. This is how big a real tomato is. It can fit in my hand. It's not as big as my head. Immersion. The only thing I don't like from the overhaul mods personally are the sweet rolls and the apple pies. I don't know, I kind of feel like they lose the spark from the vanilla game. So I added high poly sweet rolls that makes them look like the vanilla ones, but 1,000 times better and with more pixels and polygons, so thank you mod author. And I also got Ultra HD apple pies. You're welcome. You know, fun fact, I actually do not like apple pie. I used to love it when I was a kid, but then my grandma made a really big one. I ate it all and puked it. I just lost 234 subscribers.
A great success!
And with those few mods, you overhaul the existing dishes in the game. No need to watch the video anymore. You can click away. Unless you're not a f***ing coward. We're diving into some real wild shit right now. Are you ready for that? Are you ready? Let's go. We're going to slowly level up the wild factor with each mod, starting with a pretty basic and not so scary mod being cooking pots in inns. Haven't you ever wanted to make food at an inn? You know, a place where you go get drunk, where there are a lot of drunk people and therefore a lot of fights. You would think that the best thing you can add is a pot full of very hot food for everyone to use as a weapon. Just something to think about. But for real, it's fun and you can cook in more places to show off your skills. You mean to tell me you're downloading all these mods and you don't expect to show off every chance you get? I'm giving you more chances here. Next up, we got the Skillful Chef. This mod allows you to actually get experience and level up your alchemy skill. I don't know about you, but alchemy is one of those skills I even forgot existed. That and speech, like how do you even level up those two? Like there's no chance you get. Who makes potions in the game? And every time you try to persuade someone, it feels like you just fail. So you cannot level up your speech skill. It's just stupid. They get experienced so slowly, but since you're now the Gordon Ramsay of Tamriel, you'll actually get something super useful for making food. Next up, we got mud crab. Yes, those annoying pieces of shit that always prevent you from fast traveling. Well, now you have even more reasons to murder them with 101 ways to cook mud crab. The title's a bit misleading. It says 101, but it's actually 7 recipes. But hey, that's 7 more than before, so that's an improvement. So now you can treat yourself to some mud crab blood wine, some mud crab rangoon, or some delicious mud crab bread. No idea if that tastes good or absolutely horrid, but at least you'll get to feel satisfied you got rid of another stupid mud crab. Oh, and here's a mud crab pie and a mud crab kebab, because of course, why not? Now let me ask you another question. Haven't you ever wanted for Skyrim food to have more nutritional value? And not just eat 30 cabbages mid-fight so you can level up 30 points of health. 30 points of health? Well, me neither, but hey, if you're gonna cook, at least make it more realistic, so let's go with the next mod. And I recommend better food effects with new recipes. And now look at this cabbage potato soup. It doesn't just replenish your health, it also does this. And this. It's kind of like coffee in real life. It doesn't just give you a boost in the morning, but it also makes you shit like a fountain. And this mod adds some cool new recipes such as soul gem food. Yeah. Soul gems. Anyway. And moving forward, we got mealtime. This freaking mod, I swear. I was not able to even see all the recipes myself, but I only made a few and I'll show them to you guys. You'll have to do your own homework if you want to see all the food now, because it's way too much. I don't have time for this. From the Elsewhere fondue to the delicious Azura star cookies, from the Daedra egg platter to chili con carne, from Ichiraku ramen to a dragonborn wedding cake? I mean, you know this mod does not mess around. Honestly, there's no way you'll be able to find all the new recipes, but if you want to use them to decorate your house, I think it's an amazing mod for that. Everything looks delicious and nutritious. This is probably one of my favorite mods on the list because of how much detail it adds, and also the food looks really delicious. I mean, look at this, and look at this cake, and this cheese. I don't even know what this is, but it's a lot of cheese. It's an unhealthy amount of cheese. And to be fair, all the mods on the list actually look really nice, but do they pass the real world test? Let's find out. Welcome to Cooking with Nuria, YouTube's favorite show, YouTube's most educational show, and the show will mess up a lot of times. Stay tuned. So today we're actually going to try to see if we can make better food than the ones we made in Skyrim. We're going to start up with the chili for mealtime. Why? Did you ask why I wanted to make that one in particular? It's because I actually wanted to make chili tonight. Anyway, and since it's in the game, this is an excuse for me to get views while I get food at the same time. Let's start. And we got some ground meat. Now I think in the actual recipe you're supposed to be using beef, but I'm Romanian and my dad always says that pork is the best vegetable. So we're gonna start with the diced onions that I put. And it's starting to make a little sizzle, a little bit of a sizzle. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm not just mixing stuff for the video. So now let's put el mito. As long as you got the ingredients and you put them all in a pan together, it's all good. And now we're gonna put the tomato. Before moving forward, I would like to have a short moment of silence for this tomato. If you're wondering if this is the same tomato from earlier in the video, you would have to be correct. So please, write in the comments, #RememberTheTomato. You will never be forgotten. let's just dump this shit on the pan. So far, I think it's going pretty well, right? Right? It's starting to look like something, but it really does not look anything close to the picture. So I think we gotta use, I gotta use some cheat codes. If you're a long-time viewer of the channel, you probably know that I'm not a big fan of Romanian food. I probably complained about it a few times, probably a few too many times. But there's one thing about Romanians that I have to appreciate, and that is consistency. Now, one thing about Romanian food, that they always use tomato paste in almost every food that they make. And it turns the food into like a brownish, ugly, very ugly color. And that's kind of like what chili is, isn't it? So going back to our chili here, let's just dump this inside. Oh yeah, there you go. Now it's starting to look a bit creamy. The reference image is browner. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna go the illegal route. So I already used cheat codes, but I guess we're gonna use mods now. So we're gonna add the Asian DLC, because we really have no choice here. It needs to be brown. Hopefully that's not too salty. Honestly, pretty pleased with this result so far. You might be thinking, this bowl is way too small, and that is correct. That is actually the biggest bowl I have. But it is missing a few finishing details. Like in the picture over here, you can see that it's missing what looks like an egg, I guess, and some green onions. And I already have the green onions already cut, but we're gonna make the egg now. So that is probably the closest you can get to the mealtime chili. And I think it's gonna taste delicious. We're actually gonna try it right now. Give it a little spoon, and I should be careful not to eat too much because we have a lot more food to go. Honestly, tastes great. Tastes like chili with tomatoes. And I haven't tried the egg, but I won't. It's just a freaking egg. You know, one thing, I actually really suck at making fried eggs, and I'm glad that at least I could make it a bit presentable for the video. But yeah, great success for this one, in my opinion. We're gonna move on with the next dish now. So nothing screams medieval Scandinavia like chili, right? Except some authentic Japanese ramen noodles. So we're gonna open this up, but we're not gonna use the packet, my guy. Like, I'm just gonna take the noodles out of this, and we're gonna make our own broth. I mean, we're gonna try at least to make our own broth. How hard can it be? So while the noodles are soaking up in water, I will be actually making the beef, and we're gonna take, so I bought this at the supermarket, we're gonna take actually half of this, we're gonna put it inside, and we're gonna keep the half for the other type of soup that I'll be making later. So let's just put it on here. You know what? I'm actually gonna cook it all right now, and then we're gonna use it for the soup later on. So while the meat gets cooking, I guess we can start on the broth. I'm gonna use half of some beef stock. Maybe some really beefy soup, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna let that boil a little bit. I got some soybean paste that I mixed in with some hot water so it doesn't create too many clumps. I'm actually gonna wait a little bit for this to boil before anything. I'm gonna put the cap on. There we go. It's gonna taste so good. So good. I need to get up now. I'm gonna take some of this and I'm gonna put it in. It's gonna be boiling a little bit. So that's what we want. And you know what? Just because I'm a fancy boy, I'm actually gonna add some seaweed in there. So what we'll do now is that we're gonna take the broth that we made. We're gonna put it over the noodles. Hopefully that is not too much. That is definitely too much. I gotta put the eggs on the side like this. Oh yeah, okay. And just as a finishing touch, put the green onions. And boom! Authentic ramen from Skyrim. So there we go. I'm actually gonna take a few shots later with this and compare it to the Skyrim one. I actually think this one looks better than the one in Skyrim. The one in Skyrim looks very 2D, and this one actually has some texture to it. Now let's taste it. Hopefully it's gonna be good. Okay. It's a little al dente, not gonna lie. Like a bit of meat. Honestly, I give this an Arriva seal of approval. For the last piece of the puzzle, we're going to make a sweet. So not only will I be cooking in this video, but I'll also be doing some baking. This shows you how good of a chef I am, how wide my horizons are. So, the only baking I've done, now let's get rid of the character, right? The only baking I've done in my life is the Romanian kek thing. And I have not made that in probably 10 years, not 3 years, I'm not that old. So 3 years, and I totally forgot how to make it, but we're gonna try to experience together, right? So, one thing I am sure of though, is that we need eggs. And I don't know how many eggs for this amount, so this is what I'm gonna use as a sweet roll. So after I 100% single-handedly, with no outside help whatsoever, got it to look like this, I'm actually gonna add all the other ingredients in. Perfect, look at that, I'm so good, right? Alright, so now we put the rest of the egg in. And my main concern now, so my main concern originally was that it was not gonna rise. My main concern now is that it is gonna rise too much. So we're still gonna try to put it all, and then we're gonna see. Yeah, that's a good amount. Oh, look at me! Look at me! Oh yeah, there you go. So I know the oven is still a bit. Ooh, I put some cookie over. The oven is still a bit hot from earlier, and I already feel it next to my face. It feels really great. Thank you for asking. So I'm gonna put it directly in. That's 350 Fahrenheit. Hopefully that's high and low enough all at the same time. Open this up. Gonna put it in, and I know you're not supposed to leave it for too long. Let's just put a timer for, let's say, 12 minutes. I'll come check it out. If it's not done, I'll put it back in and whatever. And I'll see you guys when it bakes.
A few moments later.
Alright, so the cake's in the oven. I'm sorry, the roll is in the oven. Meanwhile, I guess we can go ahead and do the little thingy. Oh, actually, let's put some sugar here. Awesome. I feel like that's a lot. Okay. So hopefully that's not a lot. I didn't check how to make it. I just checked the ingredients, and that's definitely not how you do it. Okay, how about we get rid of most of the water and really try it. We have water.
20 minutes later.
Not much more promising, but a little more promising. Let's put some vanilla extract.
2 hours later. 1 eternity later.
Alright, so in my opinion, that's a good amount. Let's go. So we're gonna put it on a plate. I'm getting my gloves. Hopefully I'm not gonna have a lot of problems turning it. I'm getting it to connect. Yeah, it's very stuck. Okay. So what I'll do is that I'll get a knife. Hopefully with one stick. Once I do this a few times. Yeah, that's pretty good. Look at that. And I did say that we're gonna make a hole in it, right? We're gonna make a hole. Oh god, that's hot. But this looks pretty good. This looks pretty good, not gonna lie. So this is like a donut hole. That looks kind of cool, doesn't it? I don't know if you guys saw whatever I just did, but that looks pretty cool. So I'll just take my whisk and the glaze here, and we're gonna glaze this bad boy up, and it's gonna be so good. Oh, look at that. I'm actually really happy with the results so far. But hey, that looks kind of good. That looks kind of good. In terms of consistency, actually, I should have made it a lot thicker and make it less. But you know what? I'm actually super proud of this. Now, if I were to make this a second time, which I probably will because it looks really cool, I would definitely make less glaze, but make it thicker. And honestly, I think that's the only change I would make, unless it doesn't taste right. In which case, let's try it. So, cut it like that. And I do think this is a good size. You might be arguing that, oh no, sweet rolls are actually supposed to be smaller. But have you seen the absolute size of these things in the game? In vanilla, I mean. It tastes really freaking good. You guys should try it. You guys should really try this. Maybe don't make a hole in the middle, because that's kind of a waste. I'm still gonna eat it though. But it's really freaking good. I give this a 12 out of 10 actually. And we're ending this video on a really positive note here. That's amazing. So if you guys got this far in the video, I want to thank you all for watching. And I hope you enjoyed this. I was actually super excited to do this, and I couldn't have done this before I moved because I was sharing a kitchen with my parents, so that's never a good idea. But I do think this video was actually super successful. I'm really happy with it, and I would love to do more like this. Maybe not necessarily Skyrim related, but I do really want to make more of this. So if you guys enjoyed, leave a like as always, and subscribe if you're new. Even if you're not new and you've been watching all my videos and you're not subscribed yet, why are you still watching without subscribing? So, you know how it is. Thank you very much. Alright, Christian from the future, shut up. Shut up. I'm here. Yes, my hair grew. It's been a few months. I'm not proud of it. I've been pretty busy with other stuff, but hey, I'm here now. I'm gonna try to focus more on YouTube, I guess. I sound like an asshole. I've been absent for like a few months, and now here I am being like, oh, I'm gonna work on more stuff. No, but for real, thank you for everything. I've been working on this video actually for a while. Yes, I did take like 2.5 months long break, but this video has been it was pretty hard to make, filming wise, editing wise, and also like the cooking itself. And also, oh my god, in the last 3 months I learned more things about cooking, and as I watched the recordings back, I realized how bad I was at cooking. And I mean, I'm still not perfect, but holy shit. The ramen, it kills me. Oh. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. This video was actually a bit too long for my own taste, so I had to cut it down a bit. So if you want to see a deleted scene, all you have to do is click on this corner, and please point to the right corner, because I always... that will be on a separate channel. It will be my second channel. I'll probably use it more in the future. For now, it's just gonna have that one video. I'm not sure exactly where I would like to go with that channel, but we will see. And by the way, in my absence, I haven't uploaded in like about 3 months, and I've been getting like almost 200 new subscribers. So welcome! Nice to meet you all. Very nice. Thank you very much for that. Have a good one. So I loaded up this older game called Skyrim. I started making videos people be admiring. Well, on one hand it gets pretty tough. I can't help to admit that it's some really cool stuff. I get back in the game after I played so many times. I thought it would get boring after committing so many crimes. Did you know the ripple chicken is considered a person? Now that's a dumb feature that ruins my immersion.